The winter sun over Seoul was fading, painting the sky with a soft orange glow. On an unusually quiet street, a tall man wearing a simple black cap and mask held a small child close to his chest. Beside him walked a woman, her hand gently resting on his arm, her eyes scanning their surroundings with quiet caution. They looked like any ordinary parents taking their baby for a stroll, yet they were anything but ordinary. They were Hyun Bin and Son Ye-jin, two of Korea's most beloved stars, and the tiny bundle in Hyun Bin's arms was their greatest treasure, their son Alkong. That day marked the first time the world had seen the family together in public. Cameras had not been prepared for it. There was no press release, no official announcement yet. Within minutes, the sighting became global news. Social media exploded. "They look so happy," one fan wrote. Another commented, "So Alkong is real, and he's beautiful." But what no one knew was that behind those serene smiles lay a story of fear, sacrifice, and overwhelming love, a story the couple had kept hidden for nearly a year. When Sun Ye-jin first learned she was pregnant, she was alone in the kitchen of their home in Seoul, holding the test in trembling hands. The actress, who had always carried herself with unshakable poise, suddenly felt tears spill over her cheeks. Hyun Bin had just returned from a late night shoot. She handed him the test wordlessly. His eyes widened. "Are you serious?" he whispered, his voice breaking. And then, for the first time in years, Hyun Bin cried uncontrollable, joyous tears. The pregnancy was a blissful, yet anxious period. Ye-jin struggled with morning sickness, fatigue, and the fears every new mother faces. Hyun Bin, known for his quiet strength, transformed overnight into a doting husband. He cooked, cleaned, and even learned to massage her swollen feet after long days. Late at night, he would rest his head against her belly and talk to their unborn child. "Hey, little one," he would murmur. "This is Dad. I can't wait to meet you." The day Alkong was born, everything changed. It was a cold dawn in November when Yejin went into labor. Hyun Bin gripped her hand as doctors worked around them. After hours of excruciating pain, the moment finally arrived. A sharp, piercing cry filled the room. Their son had entered the world. Hyun Bin felt his knees buckle. Yejin, drenched in sweat, managed a weak smile. "He's perfect," she whispered. But their joy was short lived. Minutes later, a doctor approached with a grave expression. "Your son needs special care. His breathing is unstable." The world around them blurred. Hyun Bin's ears rang. He watched as tiny Alkong was placed in an incubator tubes attached to his fragile body. The next few days were a blur of worry and sleepless nights. Hyun Bin refused to leave the hospital, his face pale from exhaustion. "He's so small," he whispered one night, watching Alkong through the glass. "What if I can't protect him?" Ye-jin, still recovering, reached for his hand. "He's strong, just like his father. We have to believe in him." When Alkong's condition finally stabilized, relief washed over them like a tidal wave. Yet the experience changed them forever. Hyun Bin, once a man consumed by work, quietly canceled several major projects. Friends and managers were stunned. "I need to be here," he told them. "Acting can wait. My son cannot." Life as new parents was nothing like the romanticized image fans might imagine. Nights blurred into days as they struggled with diapers, feeding schedules, and fevers that left them panicking at 3 a.m. But amid the chaos were moments of indescribable joy. Alkong's first smile, his tiny hand curling around Hyun Bin's finger, the way his face lit up when Ye-jin sang softly to him. Away from the spotlight, they built a quiet, imperfect, but beautiful life. Hyun Bin discovered that he could survive on 2 hours of sleep, if it meant watching Alkong drift into dreams. Ye-jin found herself crying one morning when Alkong uttered his first babbling sounds. "Did you hear that?" she gasped, clutching Hyun Bin's arm. "He's talking to us." But they also lived under constant pressure. Paparazzi lingered outside their home. Rumors spread online, wild speculation about Alkong's looks, personality, even his health. "We can't let them see him," Hyun Bin said firmly one evening as they drew the curtains tight. "He deserves to live freely without being treated like a spectacle." As Alkong approached his first birthday, the couple finally allowed themselves to plan a small celebration, just the three of them. But fate had one more test in store. Weeks before the big day, Alkong suddenly fell ill again. Doctors recommended a minor surgical procedure. Though it was considered routine for Hyun Bin and Ye-jin, it felt like their world was collapsing. The night before the operation, Hyun Bin held Alkong close, whispering into his tiny ear, "You're so strong, my boy. Dad's here. I'll never leave you." Ye-jin sat beside them, tears streaming silently down her cheeks. In that moment, they were not global superstars. They were just two terrified parents praying for their child. The surgery went well. When Alkong opened his eyes afterward and reached out weakly toward them, Ye-jin let out a sob of pure relief. Hyun Bin kissed his son's forehead over and over, unable to hold back his own tears. That experience changed everything. They realized how fragile life could be, how precious every moment truly was. And for the first time, they considered sharing their journey with the world, not as celebrities, but as parents who had endured fear, love, and hope like anyone else. When they finally appeared at a press event, the room was electric. Cameras flashed wildly as Hyun Bin and Sun Ye-jin stepped onto the stage, their son between them. Hyun Bin, usually stoic, looked visibly emotional. "Thank you for respecting our privacy," he began, his voice shaking slightly. "Today we wanted to share our story, not for attention, but because we believe that love, family, and resilience are universal." Ye-jin spoke next, her eyes glistening. "Motherhood has changed me completely. I used to think strength was about holding everything together alone. Now I know strength is also about being vulnerable, about asking for help, about loving so deeply it scares you." Fans around the world were moved to tears as they heard the couple reveal Alkong's early struggles and their decision to prioritize family over fame. Messages of support flooded social media. "They're human just like us," one fan wrote. "They've been through so much, and they came out stronger. I love them even more now." After that day, their lives shifted in meaningful ways. Hyun Bin became more selective with his projects, taking on roles that allowed him to spend more time at home. "Every time I hear Alkong call me dad, I realize that no award, no amount of fame can compare to that," he said in a later interview. Ye-jin too chose to return to acting only for scripts that truly resonated with her. "I want Alkong to be proud of me, not just as an actress, but as his mom." Behind closed doors, their days were filled with simple joys. Hyun Bin, once the image of a charismatic action hero, now loved nothing more than reading bedtime stories. Ye-jin delighted in cooking family meals, often laughing as Alkong made a mess at the table. These were the moments that defined their happiness, not red carpets, not awards, but the sound of their son's laughter filling their home. Their story became an inspiration worldwide, not because they were perfect parents, but because they were honest about their struggles. They showed that even in the glittering world of stardom, family came first. One evening, as they sat together in their living room, Hyun Bin watched Alkong toddle unsteadily toward him. The boy's chubby hands reached out, and Hyun Bin scooped him up, spinning him gently as Ye-jin laughed. "We're so lucky," she whispered, resting her head on her husband's shoulder. "Yes," Hyun Bin replied softly, kissing Alkong's forehead. This is everything." As they shared that quiet, perfect moment, it was clear to anyone who knew their story that this was more than just a tale of two famous people. It was a testament to love, resilience, and the incredible journey of becoming a family. And as the cameras eventually turned off, the lights